Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Cordant and in this video I'm just making a quick guide on how I find it best to deal with SCS Davaeorn. So this video is mostly useful for people who like playing the game in higher difficulties and with SCS installed. For those of you who might not know it, SCS or Sword Coast Stratagems is a mod which pretty much just improves the overall game, makes it harder, makes your enemies more intelligent and have more tactical options. So I usually play the game with double damage on, I play it on the insane difficulty, and I like playing the game in a no reload fashion. So this is very useful if you're doing a run like that, and also pretty useful if you're just doing a normal run, just to make the fight go easier. Okay, so the first step to our guide is gonna start right here in the bandit camp. After you deal with the bandits, you are going to want to pick up the item that's right here in this barrel, which is a potion of magic blocking. What this does is it simply makes you immune to spells of 5th level and below. It lasts for 5 rounds, which isn't a lot of time, but it's enough for what we want to do. So you're gonna pick that up. So first step, complete. Now, through my super video editing skills, we are gonna jump to the second area of our guide. And right now we are in Durlag's tower. So this is the first underground level of Durlag's tower, which is where the actual Durlag's tower starts. And this is where we're gonna find our second piece to our strategy. Now, this area is notoriously known for being trapped, and it is trapped everywhere, so you are gonna want to have a thief with you. In this case, I'm using Corin because another piece of our strategy is gonna involve an archer. The better the archer, the better result you're gonna have. In this case, Corin is, in my opinion, the best archer you can get in the game. He's also pretty much the best companion you can get in terms of physical prowess. And he is also a thief, conveniently. So, for this area, you're going to want to remove all of the traps and deal with the enemies. And you're probably going to need a potion of perception, because what this potion does is it buffs your find traps, pickpockets, open locks, and hide in shadows abilities, which is something that you're probably not going to have at a high enough level if you want to come here before dealing with the Davaeorn. So in this case, my open locks and find traps are at 100 and 105 respectively, but that is only because I have the perception buff. So I drank a potion on Corin, otherwise he would not be able to deal with all of the traps in here or all of the locks. So if you don't have potions of perception by yourself, in this main room in Durlag's tower, you're gonna find this container right here, kind of hidden, but near these barrels, where you're gonna have 4 of these potions of perception. Okay, and by the way, this entire level is full of good stuff that you can use in any fight throughout the game. Okay? So, you are going to want to clear the traps, deal with the enemies, and you're gonna make your way down into this bedroom area. Once you get over here, you're gonna have a skeleton warrior to fight over here, another one over there. They can be tough opponents, as you can see by my front line. But once you deal with him, you are going to want to come over here in this room, which is this gold stash room. And this is where we're gonna pick up our second most important item for our strategy. In this case, there's a lot of money. You have elemental arrows, which are very useful for dealing with the Davaeorn when he has his stone skin up. You won't deal damage from the projectile, but the elemental damage goes through and it can interrupt his spellcasting, so very useful. But the most important ones here are these arrows right here. And also the acid ones, because it's the one I like the most. So, what do? In case you don't know them, these arrows are the arrows of Dispelling. These are, in my opinion, the most powerful arrows, or one of the two most powerful arrows in the game. So what they do is when they hit your target, they will fully dispel them. And this is very, very critical for dealing with Mr. Davaeorn, or mages in general in Baldur's Gate. So this is also the only place, to my knowledge, where you can acquire arrows of Dispelling before entering Baldur's Gate, which you cannot do until after you deal with Davaeorn. So that's why it's important to come here and pick these up. You don't have a lot, you only have 2, so don't waste them. The other useful arrows are any kind of elemental damage arrow, but I prefer acid arrows. So this just gives you a little bit of a tackle boost, damage boost, and most importantly, they have this special no-save acid damage. So like I said before, Davaeorn is gonna buff himself with stone skins, and the only way you have to interrupt him is with elemental or magical damage, which this accomplishes. So, just as a bonus, since we are down here in Durlag's tower, you're gonna also want to pick up an item in this chest right here, or several, because you also have the other most powerful arrow in the game, Arrows of Detonation, which you can also use to deal with the Davaeorn. But I'm talking about this item right here, which is the Practical Defense. So this is one of the best pieces of armor, or even the best piece of armor you can get in Baldur's Gate 1. It gives you an armor class of 0, it requires very little strength, and it's also pretty light. So it's very, very useful to have. It's even better, generally speaking, than the Unkeg armor. Okay? So, with our arrows acquired, let's do some more video editing magic, and poof! We are now in the Davaeorn's lair, and this is where we are gonna start our fight. So I'm just using Corin once again here to clear out these traps, as you usually want to do. Put his armor back on. We are gonna equip our arrows of Dispelling, equip our acid arrows, give him our potion of magic blocking. Also just gonna give him some extra healing in case something goes wrong, because these things, they are not perfect. This is a guide. It doesn't guarantee that everything always goes well. So in this case I just have a potion of extra healing, some oil of speed, and my potion of magic blocking. And I'm also gonna be making use of these boots, the paws of the cheetah. So this is a pair of boots that doubles your movement rate, and you pick these up right before you come to the Davaeorn's lair. So when you go to the Cloakwood mine, before you actually enter the mine, you are going to face 4 very powerful and tough opponents, and one of them drops these boots. So mobility is good, we're gonna make use of it. So, usually what you're gonna wanna do here is buff your entire party, probably get some summons, especially if you have a cleric. Skeleton warriors are very good. You're gonna web this area so that when guards start streaming in, they get stuck. But for the purposes of this video, I'm just gonna move my party over here, where they're gonna be generally safe, and we're gonna use Corin to do the heavy lifting. So, to start, we are going to drink our potion of magic blocking, making us immune to level 5 and below spells. And I'm also gonna drink an oil of speed just to make it so we move even faster and have more attacks. Okay. With that done, you're also gonna wanna have party AI off, in my opinion, just to make sure you don't waste arrows or you don't start moving around in weird patterns. And let's meet the Davaeorn. So, the Davaeorn is right here. Is being guarded by these two battle horrors, which you are going to want to ignore using this strategy normally. You can kill them if you're using some other strategy. But for this purpose, we are just gonna kite them around. And I'm just gonna wait for the Davaeorn's buffs to come up. Okay. So, the Davaeorn's buffs are now up. This is from the SCS component I was talking about. It makes mages simulate pre-buffs as you do in your own party. In this case, SCS gives him mirror image, minor globe of invulnerability, minor spell turning, protection from normal missiles, and stone skin. And this makes it so it's very hard to actually damage him or interrupt him. You can do it in other ways by overwhelming him with elemental damage, in this case by arrows, to break through his stone skin and also break through his mirror images. You can have, for example, one of your arcane casters cast a spell thrust to remove his minor globe and then, I don't know, skull trap him or fireball him or whatever you want. But what we are going to do is use our Dispelling arrow on Davaeorn. So that's our first hit. And as you can see, he is now dispelled. He no longer has mirror images, he no longer has protection from normal missiles, and he no longer has stone skin. So I'm moving around because I don't want to get hit by these battle horrors. And you can do this very easily because with Paws of the Cheetah and Oil of Speed, you move very fast. We're gonna swap to our acid arrows and now just pelt him with arrows. And roll ones. Yeah, keep laughing, bitch. And there we go.
Great blow to the organization known
Hey! Okay, so do keep in mind, you might have noticed Chartil grunting there. This is just for the purposes of the video, okay? I just put my party here and I completely ignore them. Don't do it because the battle horrors will come up and start smacking them. However, they will die after you deal with the Davaeorn, so...
If it okay, I don't have time.
Don't kill Chartil! Okay. So yeah, once you kill the Davaeorn, they also die.
Life is adventure.
Okay, so that's the strategy I currently find the best to deal with him. Especially since I like playing with no reload rules and, as you can see, double damage. This is just a clean and efficient way to deal with the Davaeorn. So, obviously, things can go wrong, as I was talking about. You can start shooting your Dispel arrows and you can critically miss twice in a row. It's very unlikely, but you can do it. And I like using Corrin because he's just an insane archer, okay? In this case, he has a THAC0 of 5 and he is completely unbuffed. Okay, so I hope this helps you guys. If you want to share your experiences with the Davaeorn the first time you met him, because those are always funny, please leave a comment, I would love to read it. The first time I came here, I just got completely melted by lightning bolts and fireballs, and it was pretty funny overall, although frustrating at the time. If you also want to share your own strategies, feel free to do so. But for this guide, this is how I do it. If you have any questions, leave a comment. If you want to get notified about other videos, playthroughs or guides coming to the channel, feel free to subscribe. It's free, it helps me out. And I hope to see you all in another video. Until then, stay safe everyone.